I mean, he's just an outstanding student. And I could concur with that because I witnessed it. So, but again, I wanted to know from Ron, Ron's mom, to what extent that he felt that she helped Ron, and this is an excerpt from the interview one of the interviews that I did with her. And I asked for researcher, okay, do you have time to help him? There are families that do not have time because they have to work really hard, they have good jobs, therefore they don't have time to help their sons or daughters. Is that true for you? And that's one's mom. No, I find time to help her. So your job doesn't get in the way? No, it doesn't. And by the way, this was conducted in Spanish because of the fact that she was still learning English. I figured it would be easier for her to have the interview in Spanish because I speak Spanish, so I was able to put her in Spanish. And with the help of my partner, I was able to get translated. I mean, I translated into English, but my partner, her native tongue is Spanish. She's from Venezuela, so she was able to help me out. She helped me out with the translation. So I want to give her some credit. What she checked on basically on the, I transcribed it myself, and then I translated it myself, and I asked her to sort of look at it to see if it was, captured the Spanish version, right? And of course, and she said, no, working hard, having two jobs doesn't really prevent her from helping her son. And I said last year, for example, Miss Vanessa invited some parents to come help in class. If Miss Vanessa invited you to come to a class to help your son and other students, do you think you're going to do it? And of course she said yes. Would you like to do it? Of course, if it's for my son. Now, like I said earlier, this study is contextual. I mean, I don't want to put Ron in a lofty pedestal. I don't want to overpraise him. Because if Ron were to remove from this middle school and be placed to another middle school, perhaps he would not be considered an achiever. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. So this is why when you are doing research, you need always to take into account the context, because context matters. Context really shapes how we do things, what we do and how we do things. So therefore I would not want anyone to take Ron's case and make generalization about all English language learners. See, his achievement is absolutely contextual. It has a lot to do with the content of the school, the support that he got from his mother, from his members at his church, and from the teachers. Now, if one were to move to another school, perhaps he would not get the support that he got from the teachers at the middle school. And perhaps he would not be considered an achiever. So that was it. I mean, I could go on and on, but that was just like a taste, just to give you an idea. Yes?
When you chose the four in the beginning, was it random, or did you choose them because you knew they were achievers? Did you look at their test scores? How did you?
Very good question. My goal was to, I didn't want to perpetuate this stereotype of English language learners. I didn't want to look at the only students who were failing. So, because I was already working with the teachers, I started in 2003. I was doing my first year at the Pro students. At the time, one was not there, was in school in 2004. So I had a very good sense of the school. But I wanted to know who was doing what at the school and what has helped them do well. So I asked the teachers, the school principal, the guidance counselor, I looked at their report. I wanted to know who was achieving and what we helped them achieve. And Ms. Vanessa actually was the one who told me Ron and Pedro and the others were considered achievers. So I was interested in finding out what has helped them achieve. And the point was, I consciously did it. I didn't want to focus on students who were failing, because we have enough of that. As far as English language learning is concerned, I feel like we have enough. I wanted to focus on the positive side of the story. Very good question.
Yeah, did the other ones that you studied for a while, did they have very supportive mothers also?
I didn't get to know much about them because they left
You left
moved
too
out
early?
early.
Okay.
I didn't get to know much. But like being in the classroom with them, I could see how driven they were. But I didn't get to get enough information about their family and so on and so forth. Anyway, it was sad because it would have been nice to sort of compare. But I ended up with one.
Mhm.
Like I said, when you are doing your research, sometimes you have to work with what you have, what is available to you. And that's the reality. That's the nature of research. Unless you have the time, the luxury to be at the site for 10 years, 5 years. But if you have 1 year, if you can only afford 1 year to do the research, then you really have to work with what is available to you. Now, if it was available to you is not has nothing to do with the focus of your research, then you're going to have to strategize. You have to, find ways to work with those that you think will help you achieve your goals as a researcher. Any other questions?
How did this research help you to achieve your goal?
My goal? Well, for my dissertation, that's what I did. I ended up doing. Because I was already at the site, at the school, I had a very good understanding of the culture of the school. And the teachers who knew me fairly well opened their classroom to me. So I was able to collect the data that I eventually used for my dissertation. In fact, this is part of my dissertation. That's not my dissertation, that's part of it. So anyway, yes, that research was really helpful to me because I was able to use the data I collected to write my dissertation and finish my degree, and here I am today.
How many pages was your dissertation? Because I found one when I was looking for my article. It was almost 300 pages.
Mine was over, it's interesting. Mine was about 250 pages, and I had to cut it down to about 200 pages. Thank you. My advisor felt that some of the things that I had there was not really helpful. She wanted something tight, and basically the actual 50 pages that I took out were basically prime. Yeah, it was not, were loose, were not tight. So I had to reduce it to 200. Because to me, it's not the quantity, it's the quality. Of course, you're not going to have a certain, 50 pages dissertation. 50 pages is just enough for the review literature, right? But I think about anywhere from 200 pages, 250, sometimes you do have 400 pages, 500 pages. I don't know how to do it. I didn't want to make a career out of this. I mean, if you want to finish your dissertation in a timely manner, then you wanna be realistic. You can always do part 2 when you're done. If you want to be a professional student, yeah. But I didn't want to be a professional student. I wanted to finish, and I felt like I had enough to get it done. And my advisor helped me get it done. But when it comes to number of pages, it depends on your chair. And some chairs accept 100 pages. I don't know how to do that. I would never accept that.
Yeah,
I mean, it
it
depends. Maybe for a quantitative research, you might be able to get away with it. But for qualitative, 100 pages, it's impossible. Because you need to describe, the process. I mean, it's, to me, I think the minimum, in my opinion, should be like about 100 pages. Again, it's hard to quantify this. It's what, at the end of the day, it's the quality that matters, not the quantity. But you need to have enough substantive pages, so to speak. Okay, if you don't have any more questions, thank you for listening. I figured I would share some of my research with you. And now let's get to business. Paul Willis. I was very fascinated by the research that he did with the working class kids.
Focus groups.
Focus group. Yeah, he didn't use the word focus group. He said group discussion, right? But it's focus group, obviously. That's what it is. So, was that really helpful? Because we've been talking about, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about focus group. In fact, I even divided in small groups to talk about it. You sort of pretend that you were in a focus group. And how did you make sense of his research? like the way he put it together and the way he interpreted, do you think that his interpretation of the data was accurate? It sort of reflected what you read? What is your critique of his research? And this is not the perfect example, but it's a very good example when it comes to focus group, right? So share with me your reaction. What sense did you make of the analysis, data? I think it's really rich. I mean, I've read the book already, but I'm reading the book. The more I read it, the more questions I have. And the English, it is butch English. There are a lot of words that you may not be familiar with if you're an American. But nonetheless, it's a very well-detailed interpretation and analysis. So, yeah, what's your take? Yes?
I can tell the ear rolls from the lads just by reading the vernacular that they're using. The lads use a different language
Mm-hmm.
than the supposedly more motivated ear rolls,
Mm-hmm.
the guys they don't like who are doing well in school.
Right. But what's fascinating about this study is the description of schools, what's happening, the voice of the students, the resistance you can feel through the voices, I mean, it's really, he even used the word resistance in his analysis. What's the resistance? How they sort of reject what was happening in the school, what was happening at the school wasn't really meaningful to their lives, and yeah, tell me, I don't want to go on and on and on and on, but tell me what did you make out of it? If anything.
We were supposed to read introduction in chapter 1.
Chapter 1, yeah.
I went on into 2 some, but within chapter 1, his aim was he's trying to examine about the important aspects of the class culture and all. And I think, when I'm reading later in chapter 2, his observation of the students, what they're saying to each other, and I guess he's sitting in there and watching. There's a lot of what he's gaining is a lot by watching and listening to, well, not even to what is being said, but
Right.
what they're doing. And
Right.
so he's getting a lot of information.
Right.
They will make excuses as to why they went to the trash can, when really they're just trying to aggravate the teacher. So he's getting a lot of information by being in there. So I think that, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I said what I needed to say, you go ahead. Somebody else? Yeah? Diane? You want to say? Okay, sorry.
The tone is very, it's almost primitive. It's blunt. He doesn't sugarcoat anything.
He or they?
The writing.
The writing. Okay. The writing. Okay.
The way, especially when he's talking about sexism on page 43.
Tell us more. What's about it?
For starters, in the second paragraph, there's a traditional conflict in their view of women. They are both sexual objects and domestic comforters. It's weird that I guess I'm rendered speechless by how by the idea that adolescent males that this author is examining have that perception.
Right. Let me add something to what you say. When you are doing research, look at how he reports the student voices. I say reports. Then he goes on to analyze and interpret them. So he did not change the wording whatever the students say, he